Today we're going to be looking at the Four Uncles pneumatic extractor. This is a vacuum extractor. You hook it to an air compressor and the vacuum pulls your transmission fluid out of your transmission pan or your oil out of your oil pan. Let's open the box to see what we have inside. So inside you have an adapter kit. This is to adapt to all different types of vehicles. It's got any adapter you would need to hook up to your modern cars. The one I'll be using today will just be one of these hoses. I'll run it down the dipstick tube of the transmission and I'll extract the transmission fluid from the dipstick tube with one of these hoses right here. It comes with 3 hoses. So this is the hose I'll be using today. It's got a quick connect on the end. I'll just run this down the dipstick tube of the transmission. It also has another shorter, smaller hose. I'm not sure exactly what I would use this on unless I had a more modern vehicle that needed a smaller diameter hose. And this has got a really dense rubber on the end of it. It feels good to the hand. And then you have your flex hose. This flex hose right here connects up here to this part of the vacuum pump right here. It just simply snaps in, and then you will connect your hard line hose into this right here, quick connect, and you'll run this down into your dipstick tube. I'm going to use the longer one. This is where you connect your air line. It has an on-off valve right here. This is how you produce vacuum. So you'll hook your air line right here, you mash this down, and it will start pulling vacuum. And it's got this little clip right here. You just raise it up and it will hold the trigger down while you're pulling vacuum. That way you don't have to sit there and just hold it while you wait. On this end right here, all the way counterclockwise is extraction mode. All the way clockwise is ejection mode. It will empty this reservoir into whatever reservoir you want to put your fluid into. Very, very nice setup. And it has a pressure gauge right here. And then it has a pop-off valve right here that will release any pressure that you need released. You can just pull that pin and it's going to release any pressure that may be pressurized in the tank. Also, the flex hose that goes from the tank to your dipsticks, it has its own on-off valve as well. So let's get this hooked up and I'll show you how it works. Okay, you can see I've got my jug. I've got it hung up here from the hood. As it gets fluid in it, it may try to lower the hood, but it will catch itself right here on the fans route. I've got my pipe inside the dipstick tube of the transmission, and now I'm ready to start pressing the handle up there and pulling out the transmission fluid. You can see the transmission fluid is running up the hose just fine. You can see it filling up inside the bottom of the reservoir. It's not too dirty, but it is it's not as red as it should be. You can see now that it's pulling air out, which means we're at the end of the transmission fluid. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the tube out of the dipstick tube while it's pulling vacuum. That way it'll clean the tube out. And there we have it. I want to shut all this off now. And we have our transmission fluid evacuated from the system. Well guys, that's a job done. The transmission in that truck, it was a little bit low fluid. And when I added more fluid back, I had to add more than I took out. The pump worked incredible. I've got the truck filled back up with automatic transmission fluid, and it was low. So right here is what I extracted out of the truck, and I had to add much more than that back into the truck because the truck was low to begin with. But this got rid of the old dirty fluid, and now the truck's ready to go for many more miles to come. I love this pump. It worked great. If you're looking for a pneumatic vacuum pump to pump out your fluid, and it also has the option to pump it back into another container, that is super handy. And I like this bracket right here that holds the trigger down, so you don't have to sit there and hold the pump down the whole time you're wanting to extract the fluid. Very nice, very well thought out product. Got all the adapters you need for all your cars, all your foreign cars, whatever you're going to be pulling transmission fluid out of. They've got you set up right here. Check it out. I love it, and I believe you will too.